If there is anything to know about Kabbalists, it's that the numbers matter deeply to them. Numerology is important. So I say to myself, the numbers of the prisoners, they cannot be random. They are random, but they can't be random. They have to hold some sort of a meaning. They're all over the place, right? Some of them are 3 digits. Some of them are 4 digits. There's no flow. Why would somebody do this? More than anything else, it's just difficult for you. If you're controlling this experiment, it's difficult to keep track of all of these numbers. When you just want to make somebody like 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And then it hits me. Everything about this experiment is military. These numbers must be military. They must hold military significance. And lo and behold, I'm so ignorant about the military. I didn't know people that are in the Navy. How do you send a letter to someone that is on a military base? What does it mean when you put a zip code and then you have to attach to it a unit number? If you're going to send mail, it corresponds to military bases. And lo and behold, the prisoner numbers just so happen to correspond to 1971 military bases. And I'm going to go through those for you guys right now. Doug Corby's was 8612. That is the number that was assigned for the Naval Weapons Station in Long Beach, California. Incredible. That one took me a while to hack because apparently when it's a medical center, a medical facility, they give them what's known as DMIS numbers. But again, Long Beach, California. We then have Clay Ramsey, 416, correlates to the engineering team in Vietnam, the Naval CB team, 416. I found their yearbook. I'm going through it, and I suspect that I'm going to find a familiar face. 1037, I told you that Richard Yaco's father was in the Navy. I told you that he was an engineer. That corresponds to the USS Braunstein. The commander was Stanley Thomas Counts, who ran engineering at Hughes Aircraft, ship hull 1037. Glenn Gee, that 3401 corresponds to the USS Darter. Darter, in 1971, was moved to San Diego in that very year to support 7th Fleet operations. Paul Baran, 5704. That is the Armed Forces of Europe, Canada, the postcode 5074, and the Middle East. Whit Hubble, we've been having trouble finding anything about Whit Hubble, so we are unsure about 7258. Somebody out there will be able to let me know. We have had trouble even establishing who his family is, if he's connected to the Hubble telescope, so we just have nothing but question marks when it comes to Whit Hubble. Stuart Levin, 819. That was the naval post in 1971 in Spain. They sent out the MC4 engineering team. They arrived there in July of 1971. Jim Roney, 4325. That corresponds to the Camp Pendleton. And am I bringing that right? Moffett Federal Airfield. Yeah, Mountain View, California, where the Army Reserve's 7th Psychological Operations Group is based. We also have Jerry Shue. We have Camp Pendleton, CA. That is, of course, also a naval base in California. And then, last but not least, and you guys don't have to show this next one because I want to speak through this. Tom Williams, prisoner 2093. Is this a naval base? I get a hit, guys. I do get a hit of a naval base that it corresponds to, the naval unit, rather, that it corresponds to. And it is the only naval unit on the list that is not American owned. And it just so happens to be French owned. Clipperton Island. Who knew? A naval base on Clipperton Island. First thing I'm thinking is, what the heck is Clipperton Island? I'm wondering if it's me. My husband then says he's never heard of Clipperton Island. And that's crazy because my husband is the king of geography. Xavier Poussard says he's never heard of Clipperton Island. So let me show you this island that apparently not many people have heard of, that had a military naval base and presence. That is a French island. Check this out on the map. Yep, let's go in here. Clipperton. What the heck goes on at Clipperton Island? It's incredible. So I'm wondering what goes on Clipperton Island. Nobody knows, okay? It's like people are asking questions. The most you can find really is that it's got a pretty gory history. I think even on that link that you said, that you just had up, it says that there's a lot of weird stuff that happens there. It's got folklore. I'm wondering what kind of folklore. Why is France, what's France doing on Clipperton Island? And now I'm starting to feel real sure that prisoner 2093 is suspicious.